It's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Like, I used to work 80 hours a week at Amazon, and I hated it. Now I work 1 hour a day. That's it.
Hey, welcome to the Funded Profits Trading channel. I'm Luke Holmstrom, founder of Funded Profits Trading, and today I'm with Henry. He's one of our students who just got a $12,000 payout after getting funded by a prop firm, successfully passing it, and then receiving a payout, based off of the efforts that he made on that funded account. So I wanted to talk to him today, sit down with him, and ask him some questions so you can learn more about the Funded Profits Trading process, and then also some of the tips and advice that he might have for you going through your prop firm evaluation to getting your first payout or first five-figure payout. So we're going to dig into some trading questions here in a second. But first, I just wanted to, first of all, welcome Henry in. And Henry, I just want to ask you too, just so everyone is up to speed, what's your previous experience before coming into trading? Like, what were you doing before you got into this all? And like, how did you get started trading in the first place?
Thankful for your time, Luke. When I first started, I graduated college like 2 years ago, and I started out working at doing marketing, and then became a manager, six figures, salaries, but I wasn't happy. I hated it, I hate the hours, the long hours. I was like, and then I was at one point I was pretty depressed with my job, I hated it. And I started trading during, the AMC, uh, the YOLO, GameStop stock, like
Yep, the
skyrocket. Yeah,
Wall Street bets.
yeah, those, yeah. I that's when I started trading. I actually lost a lot of money trying to YOLO some stock, and that's all my. And then I did some, crypto projects, which is like a rug pull, Ponzi schemes, and I lost a lot of money on that as well. And then I gave up trading for a while, and then recently discovered your program around 6 and 7 months ago, and through a friends at work. And that's when it's like it's been like the best decision I ever made. I actually quit my job and started doing this full time, and yeah, the rest history.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that your friend referred you to us,
Yep.
mentioned us. That's awesome, and it's good to hear that he had a good experience too. So I was going to ask you about your previous experience before trading with us, but you already hammered it out.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, before you started learning like how to trade from us, like, where was your knowledge level at? Did you have like strategies that you're using? Did you have a good understanding of risk management, psychology, technical analysis, fundamental analysis? It's like, where was your actual like trading knowledge at compared to now? Just so other people can understand. Like, were you a pretty fresh new trader that like maybe dabbled a little bit, or did you already have like a pretty good knowledge just coming into this?
Actually, I have zero knowledge. Like, I just follow whatever, people buy in the market, like GameStop, and following the news, and it didn't work out too well. Yeah.
Okay.
So before coming in, I had zero technical analysis like experience at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say now you know how to basically you could look at a chart and trade without even
Yeah.
like, sometimes it's funny because I see you in the group chat and like you might even get into one of my trading strategies before myself. Like it seems like right now you're pretty much, I mean, you can trade in your own and fully
Yeah.
understand what's going on, what you're doing, what the market's doing. So yeah, it's awesome to see that transformation. Um,
Yeah. What helped me a lot with following your strategy is the indicator that you
okay.
provided. Yeah, everyone hasn't tried it should give it a try. It's amazing, It give out a signal before like, your signal.
Before, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear that you're liking that. I know I wanted to build out something because I can obviously, send out kind of, what I'm looking at every single day, what entries I'm taking, but obviously there has to be a confluence for me to send out that alert before it
Yeah.
gets sent out. And that's just, yeah, it's a faster way to get into it. Happy that you're liking the software. That's sweet. Um, and yeah, man, like out of all the strategies, actually, just curious, what's your favorite one? Is it the open strategy?
Yeah, my favorite definitely the open because it's fast, it get
Mhm.
there fast because the the imbalance sometime, you have to wait for like 1 hours, 2 hours, or even more. And the open usually hit TPs or like, hits SL pretty quickly and get on your day. You don't have to like wait and watch the charts all day. So that's
Yeah.
probably my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. And yeah, it's just you get really good risk to reward on it. When
Yes.
when those trades run, they often go to, 1 to 3 to 1 to 6 risk to reward. They have super high win rate for a quick volatile scalp. Yeah, it's a good setup.
Yeah.
Uh, Sweet, man. And I was gonna ask you too, like, just so you can give everyone maybe a little bit more clarity, like, what was your, steps leading up to doing your prop firm evaluation? Like, just think about, before you got your payout, doing that prop firm evaluation. Like, what was your practicing like? Going through videos, reading books. Like, what was the whole process that made you prepare for that evaluation? And then we'll get into like what the evaluations have looked like and all the obstacles and things that come in with doing prop firm evaluations. But first, I just want to ask you, like, how did you prepare for it?
So, to prepare for the evaluation, I actually went through the entire course provided
Mhm.
by you, like all the videos. I also went back and watched a bunch of the recorded meeting on Wednesday, all of that, and yeah, just try to like get myself familiar with the strategies, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Good. I was gonna ask you, like, what are like key strategies that you use, and like if there's any like certain skills that you might have like picked up on that outweighed other skills. Like, is there anything really crucial that you just wanted to talk about that you believe contributed to the success of your $12,000 payout? Was there anything specific? I know you talked about the indicator already, but was there anything else? Or if you want to add
Yeah,
any?
what I learned is confidence and not to FOMO is because a lot of time when I and don't overtrade, like don't only take 2 or 3, at most at most 5 trades a day. But back then I took like 20, 30 trades a day and it wasn't good for my mental. And now that I learned 2, 3 trades a day is all you need. And be confident in your trades. Like um you, sometimes I just let the trades run, and if it hit my TP and then or hit my SL, doesn't matter. But I'm confident in the trade. Yeah, and FOMO, don't emotionally trading. Like if you lose to 1 or 2 trade, walk away, wait until tomorrow and then trade again. Because a lot of time I fail because I hit the 5%, daily drawdown when you shouldn't be ever hitting the daily drawdown. Like if you lose 1 or 2 trades, move on. Wait another day, come back with a fresh start, and yeah, because yeah, even if you lose 2 trades and tomorrow you can win 1 trade with a 3 RR, you already in profit again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really important. That's one of the main ones that I'm always super adamant on. After you have, I mean, at most 2 losses in a row or in a
Mhm.
day, just stop trading, come back the next day. You're gonna probably get better setups. Because yeah, after that, it usually goes downhill, and it just gets worse and worse. So yeah, it's all about setting out like the boundaries to your trading plan and just having the discipline to stick to them. And obviously, like I know, it takes time having that discipline to be able to stick to that trading plan. You can get told as a kid not to touch the stove, but sometimes you need to touch the stove, burn your hand, and
Exactly.
realize, why they're telling you that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all about, yeah, once you get to that point where then you have the discipline and you can follow that trading plan, some of those rules, and even just sticking to 1 to 3 trades per day is just a great guideline to stick in between, just because also, you can only make 1 to 3 emotional decisions a day. And I think for a lot of people, especially in the prop firm world, that might not be the same when you're trading your own capital. If it's a couple $100s, you might not be emotionally attached to it, right? But for a prop firm evaluation, if you're putting on thousands of dollars of risk like we are every single day, a lot of people aren't really comfortable with that, even in the first year of trading with prop firms. Like most people aren't comfortable with just seeing thousands of dollars, either losing or gaining. It's just not something that they're used to. So that can be an emotional decision, just making that trading, a trade. So yeah, with that, like you only make 3 emotional decisions a day, and I've kind of think that's one of the reasons why the 1 to 3 trading rule that we have just makes so much sense and it actually works. Um, yeah, it's all about just setting up the habits that are gonna be able to set you off in a better direction.
Yeah, one important thing that I learned was like do not FOMO. Like if you miss your perfect entry, just wait for it to come back for retest, or just don't take it at all. I know a lot of people in the group chat struggling with that. Like they enter late and end up not hitting profit like us. Like so if you miss your trades, just don't enter. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crucial. You need to know when to take a trade and when not to take a trade. And it
exactly.
does come with, time. We have as much protocols, as possible to kind of like, help you guide you in that direction. But it does come down to, building up that trading discretion. And that's one thing you can't really buy or like, just learn with the cheat sheet. It's something that you got to do and, practice. I've seen some of these setups hundreds of times, thousands of times. I know you've seen them now hundreds of times, and you just build up a whole different level of knowledge and understanding. You're more comfortable with the setups. Yeah, and it just comes with more time on the charts and just seeing them all happen in real time.
Mhm.
um, it's a good lesson. I was going to ask you, like, what were some of the main lessons that you learned while going through evaluations to also getting your recent payout? What has been some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
The biggest I've learned is be patient, because back when I used to like when I see my trade go into negatives, I usually like close it before it even hit stop loss, and then it ends up go into my direction after being in the negatives. So yeah, I patience, patient with my entry, patient with my exit is the biggest thing that I learned.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happen so many times as well. Or it just I think it's also like you've probably, now grown so much, you've built up like, that mental psychology, like you just know, like when you were, exiting those trades early, a lot of that is just due to emotions. But now you have more knowledge, you have more experience, so those emotions are mitigated, right? It's like, taking some of the trades that you're doing right now, risking thousands of dollars a day. A year ago you might have thought that was too big of a risk. Your risk tolerance changed where now you think it's not that big of a risk, right? So, and that all just changes based on your experience, the knowledge level, that those emotions kind of shift if you're emotional or not. And I think you're kind of getting that point where you're just becoming less emotional, and you're just sticking to the process because you've seen, after a longer period of time, if you just stick to the process and don't let those emotions dig in, you're going to have better results, right?
Yeah, that's why it's important to only take 2 trades a day. Because if you trade more than that, the emotion takes over, and yeah, you blow your account and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. It's all about, not just about making money, but preserving capital, being able to stay in it for the long term. Because, if you don't have a funded account during a time where you could have made money, it's not worth going in for the big swings and yeah, doing some of those bad habits.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Like I see people hitting TPs, and I don't have an account, so I can't do anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
You're like, oh, if
sucks.
I would have just stuck to this. And then you kind of, but it's good though, because then, you look back and you're like, well, if I didn't make these mistakes, I didn't make these decisions, I could have made 10,000, 20,000, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And then you get to the point of, you're either going to care or you're not going to care. And ideally you care, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then you make the changes needed to get to those goals. And I mean, that's what you did on this last payout, making $12,000. That came after, having some challenges and being able to realize, what you did and then making optimizations and, you know, just getting better and then the results come. So
Yeah, you remember when I first started?
yeah, man.
Always like, yeah, I was
Yeah.
struggling so hard with staying consistent, and I was like emotionally trading a lot. Yeah, I came a long way for sure.
Yeah, man. No, you definitely have. And dude, I'm proud to see like even just the transformation. Like I know, and whenever someone starts a brand new skill, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. And we knew that coming into this. But yeah, like I try to, everything that you do wrong, I'm not afraid to say it and to kind of like, keep going in
Mhm.
at you because I wanted you to like, get past those habits, get better, and get the results that you wanted. So I'm happy to see like a lot of the things that we talked about early on, the mistakes you're making. Like, one of the things that I noticed about you is you were very coachable. Whenever you got feedback, you took it and you implement it. And you're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna be perfect every single day, but the more you just kept getting better and better and better. And it's just cool to see where you're at now. So
Yeah, yeah. There's one thing I want to mention. You said there's nothing perfect. Like there's no perfect trades. Like if you hit your TP and it goes more, don't FOMO for it. Like just let it go. Wait for your next setup. Like a lot of my mistake was, I took TP two and then it keep going and I tried to go in again and then it started reversing and I lost all of my profit for that day. And yeah, it's the worst feeling. So
yeah, and it all comes, yeah, like just sticking to one trade per setup is that's like the
exactly.
best advice I can give a lot of people too. Because yeah, once you start getting into multiple trades on that setup, your setup might have been profitable, but then just looking at your entries and how you got in, that's just a whole other layer that gets added to it. And it really can screw up all of your data that you're trying to calculate and fix your strategy. If you have to make optimizations, it makes it a lot harder to track. Um, so yeah, man. So I was gonna ask you too, like while you're going through your evaluations, did you deal with any like stressful situations? Anything where, you got maybe close to, breaking that evaluation, and you brought it back up, or even with this recent payout, where you in drawdown and then you went back into profit? Do you have any, you know, stressful situations that came up? Because I know with everyone's trading, there's times where you're going to go into drawdown. It's normal with every single strategy, but I know sometimes, with prop firm evaluations, you have restrictions, you have rules that you have to follow. So I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, luckily I made 14,000 in just three trades and it all winner. So
So
yeah,
this payout was easy. Okay.
yeah, it was easy, but I was in drawdown a lot of times. Yeah, and I recover from it day by day. Like I was in like 8% and I recover from it. So yeah, it's doable. Like you just don't let the emotion takes over and just stick to your strategies because you have 10% drawdown. So there's no way you lose 10 trades in a row. There's zero chance, right?
Yeah.
So just stick to your plan and you'll be profitable.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's the good thing. I know with us, I mean, we have like all the trades, we track all the trades from the trading alerts and all those weekly group calls. So we can actually know like what our data is on the strategies that we're using and how I've performed. Where a lot of people don't have that, ability to kind of like go back and say, well, how many trades have I lost in a row? Yeah, like we've had six losing trades in a row over the past 3 years, 4 years almost of doing Funded Profits Trading Academy. The biggest losing streak we had was six trades in a row. So yeah, I mean, if you're using proper risk management, you shouldn't go into drawdown. But yeah, you can't like guarantee like, future results based on past performance, but I always say like that's the best indicator that you have, right? There's nothing
Yeah,
like, of course, there's no way to tell the future, but that's probably the best way to, help determine what's going to happen. Um,
exactly. Like, don't be discouraged. And when you're even in like 6% drawdown, don't be discouraged because all you need is like two trades, two good trades, and you're back in break even. So,
Yeah. As long as you have good risk management, good,
yep.
yeah, good risk to reward on your trades. Yeah, I've been in situations like that too, where you go into some drawdown, but just keep sticking to it, and adapt and it'll be all right. Um, Sweet, man. I was gonna ask you too, like, let's go into risk management. how is, how do risk management play a role into your strategy? Like when you were using, like let's just take this last payout for example. So you made $14,000 in three trades. Um, what was your risk management like? What size account did you use to, achieve that? How much percentage risk were you trading with? If you want to go into like RRs, if you want to go into maybe trade management a little bit, let's just kind of go over risk management and how that kind of looked.
Okay, I always stick to my rule and only risk 1%
Yeah.
or every time, 1%, nothing more. Sometime during like a eval, if you like I feeling risky and I don't want to be in stuck in an eval for too long, I risk at most 2% per trade. But yeah, on unfunded only 1%, and I usually at most I take TP3. Um, when I first started, I usually when it hit TP1, I moved to break even. I know a lot of people does that, but now that I'm more confident with my setup, I just leave it. Either it hit my TPs or my SL, because a lot of time it come back to break even, and then move to your profit. So it's the worst feeling.
You've been just
So
holding.
yeah. So
Okay.
I feel like take less. I recommend people to take less tray and be more confident in that tray is the best. Um, I think it's the best strategy that yeah.
Yeah, you always have to kind of go broad, especially when you first start trading. You have to, I know you went through all of my different strategies, and I have a few more than, the ones that we're using primarily right now. But, it is important to kind of like, learn a lot, try a lot of things out, and then as soon as possible, which I wish I learned this, years faster than I did myself, zone in on like just a few setups every single day. Just pick what's
Yep.
working the best. That's what all the best traders do. Like they try out, dozen things, couple dozen things. They see what works the best, has the most probability, and then from there they just zone in on just a couple things, and less can equal more then versus doing 10 mediocre strategies. If you just have a
Exactly.
couple solid
Um,
strategies, it's going to be less time, less stress. You're going to have probably better ROI even than doing the 10 different, even though you're putting in more inputs. Yeah, trading's not a job where you just, the more trades you do, the more money you make. It's interesting. We're like, I know I say that a lot, like less is more, and it's interesting, but it is true. It's kind of weird when you first come into it. Because I'm sure
yeah.
you were thinking like just put in more, input, you can build up, more money then. But yeah, it's just, once you're in trading for a while, you start to see how trading less can equal more.
Yeah, I also base my exit on, technical reading of the chart. Sometimes it's like near a major support and resistance zone. I usually just like take it, even though it's like 1 or 2, 3 points away from my TP. I usually just take it, because I don't want it to reverse on me. Things like that. Like it comes with experience. The more people trades, the more they learn how the charts move. That's what I learned.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see even like each different asset too, when you look at them, they each move a little bit different. Like they have their own character, Uh,
Yeah.
so you've really gotta, and I know you primarily learned the Dow Jones US 30. That's exactly what I trade, but like that's our main focus. I wanted to ask, like, did you really dive into, trading other assets like gold or other indices? Did you get into other things, or is
Well,
US 30 you're still like your primary focus?
I did dabble a little bit in the US 100,
Hmm.
but I found out that it's not profitable for me. Like sometimes it moves a lot, but sometimes it's really like volatile. Like especially having like an SL set, it's usually hit my SL until before it moved to like into profit because it's too volatile. Um, but I trade a goal sometimes a little bit. Especially now that I have like two accounts, I do one goal and one US 30, but I only trade gold before 9:30, before the New York exchange open, because after that I focus entirely on the US 30.
Okay, sweet. Sweet. And do you use any news? Like I don't know if you trade any news.
Yeah, I used to trade news, but since now a lot of prop firms ban trading news, and I my news trading experience is yeah, I don't I wasn't great. a lot of time like the volatility, the way you get filled is like near nowhere near you where you want it to be filled in. So yeah, I stayed away from news, and it's just save a lot of headaches and just follow the strategies. And sometimes I take trades that's like look obvious based on technical analysis, but that's pretty rare. I only takes the trades that based on our strategies.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to ask because I know some people like trading news still, but I've definitely seen the same thing where it's not as consistent. It's kind of a gamble, especially when you have to deal with like
Exactly.
spreads that can vary so much. And then the fills even on your stop loss or take profit. Yeah, there's a lot of variables that go into it. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's really worth it right now, either. I think just sticking to the regular setups that we have has been a lot more profitable. Sweet man. And I was gonna ask, like, is there any particular resources or tools that you found helpful during your evaluation process, or even now, like trading on a funded account? Like, maybe like any news apps, any technical analysis apps. Is there any like calculators? Is there any tools that you use that you'd recommend?
Um, the tools that I use is your indicator that we already mentioned,
Mhm.
Forex Factory for news, and trading views. And I rarely use a lot of indicators except for yours and the smooth moving average, 10, 50, and 200. Um, yeah, that's about it. I keep it pretty simple because I don't want it to like over complicated.
Mhm.
It's not good to complicate it, your trades. Just stick to the strategy, and I think I'll be profitable.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Whenever you first start trading, though, you have all the indicators up, 10
Yeah,
different ones.
yeah,
And then
I
you
remember
like,
that.
after a while, you're like, okay, now like I have reasons to enter, and then I have reasons not to enter. And everything's just conflicting each other where you just have to pick a couple, right? And
Exactly.
yeah, it's just what you have to do, but it's all right, because then you kind of fine tune what works and what doesn't, and then hopefully get better from there. So,
Yeah, like you don't need all those indicators. It doesn't help.
no. No, man, it doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. But yeah, if you can get a couple simple few indicators, with the indicators, it's just also like a pro tip is like, having a trend, momentum, volatility, and volume indicator. I mean, there's four different types of indicators, and a lot of people look at maybe like, a MACD and a RSI, which are both momentum indicators, but then nothing else. When that's only one sector that they're really tackling, where you should be looking at, we always talk about how the trend indicators are the best ones because at the end of the day you need a trend to make money in trading. Just because momentum is going there doesn't mean the trend is going there. Just because it's volatile doesn't mean you still need to see the trend. The trend's the biggest one, but just being able to separate them, have a couple different categories of indicators, and just pick out the best in each category. That's the solid tip instead of focusing on a lot of the same ones. um,
Exactly. Oh yeah, the super trend is pretty nice. I also use that one as well.
Yeah, it's good to see the overall trend. And then I like the volatility in it. The volatility indicator that, just helps you with the stop loss sizing. Um, yeah, it's just based off the ATR, the average true range. That's a solid tool for sure.
Yeah.
So looking back on your journey from, being like a novice trader to passing prop firm evaluation, getting, a big payout, I was just going to ask you, like, what advice would you have for other people just getting started on their evaluation process, or maybe even just starting out trading in general right now?
So the best advice I can give is follow the rules that you laid out when you first started, five at most 5 trades a day. If you have to lose your stop and wait until tomorrow, and just follow your strategy. Don't FOMO, don't emotionally trade, don't revenge trading. Those kind of things. Yeah, because when I first started, I struggle a lot with that. Like I would come in and ask you, how can I be more, consistent, and how can I be more patient? But it comes with time. Like the like all these failures that I have in evaluation, like looking back, like it helps me a lot and help me like prepare my mentals so that now I can be more successful and be more patient, and it takes a lot of the feeling out of the trades. Like back then when have like drawdown, I start freaking out like, oh my god, my trade's not going the way that I wanted to do. Like now, it doesn't bother me, I just look at it and be like, okay, if it hit drawdown, if it hit stop loss, then it hit stop loss, I move for the next trade. Yeah.
Mhm. For sure. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to relate to that. Well, man, like I know I was actually looking back on some notes. So I had a question for you because I went back through when we talked, when you first signed up, started trading with us. And I remember you had an income goal that you wanted to hit. It was $10,000 in a month. And that
Right.
was like what you were set on. But now you've already reached that. So I was going to ask you, like, what are your goals from here? Like, is there a certain income goal that you want to hit? Is there a certain amount of funding that you're trying to get right now? You know, where do we go from here? Because you already hit that goal.
Yeah, I want to be at least in the seven figure funding,
Okay.
but yeah, that's my goal for this year, if not next year. But yeah, that's my goal. And for incomes, it's like I would want to be at least stable,
Mhm.
10,000 at least per
You
month.
want to hit like every single, you want to get like maybe like 6 months in a row of $10,000 a
Yeah,
month or more.
I want to
Okay.
be consistent instead of like going for them big payout. Consistent is key. Just don't doesn't matter if you hit one month you hit for 30K and then another month you don't make any and then you blow your account. I don't want to do that. I want to be consistent, stay consistent, and see how it works over time and improve from there.
Yeah, as long as you keeping your numbers consistent, you'll hit those payouts. And then if you get seven figures in funding, then you just multiply how much money you can really make from this.
Exactly. And once you have that much capitals, then you can lower your risk and it's then
That's
become
1%.
impossible, and it's then become impossible for you to even lose your account if you have like, let's say, 2 million and you risk 0.25% of your total capital. Then you would make how much for how much would it be for TP3? If you hit TP3 on a 2.25%, um
It,
nearly.
it'd be like probably around 40,000,
Yeah, exactly.
$50,000 somewhere in there.
Yeah, like you don't even have to risk 1% anymore. Then yeah, that's my goal.
Sweet. Yeah, because I was gonna say if you get to $1 million in funding, even just TP1 at your 1% would be, $10,000 in one trade instead
Yeah,
of 10,000 in a month. Like that'd
yeah,
be
exactly.
crazy. So yeah, just keep
Yeah,
consistent with what you're doing. And make any optimizations that we'll need to, but just keep staying consistent and then let's get some more accounts, then you can scale that income up a little bit more.
yep.
Sweet man. And just before we hop off, because that's all the questions that I had here for us today. I also want to ask because I know some people that are watching this video are students of the academy that are already trading with us, and they're just learning some of your tips, getting some more knowledge. So they can go into their prop firm evaluations or level up their own trading. But I know there's some people that watch this channel that haven't joined yet. So I was just gonna ask, like, if you were to talk to someone that was on the fence about joining but didn't sign up yet, like, what would you tell them basically to get them to sign up?
I would tell them like just do it, because look at me. I quit my job and I'm just trading what 3 hours a day, and the rest of the day I have time to myself. I'm not even doing anything. Like I'm planning to travel to Korea and just trade 3 hours a day. Not even 3 hours, like 1 hour a day, and yeah, I'm done. And making three trades, that would be 12,000. If I win like last time, three trade 12,000, and then for a whole month I don't even have to work anymore. I'm
Mhm.
just doing what I want. So I think it's do it. You're not gonna regret it. It's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Like I used to work 80 hours a week at Amazon, and I hated it. Now I work 1 hour a day. That's it.
It's a
Yeah,
little bit
and
easier.
anywhere in the world, like you can be traveling to like Asia, Europe, and just enjoying, and then just, yeah, 1 hour a day, get entree, and then enjoy your life. It's the best life, you know.
Yeah, man, it is. Yeah, it's that once you get that trader lifestyle, you don't want to go back. And
Exactly.
usually, once you start making some nice size payouts, you're like,
Yep.
that would have taken me, yeah, like over 150 hours, 160 hours, 180 hours this whole entire month to even make half of that or a third of it or even
Yeah.
make that amount. It's compared to the time that you can, trade and make the same amount or if not more, double, triple, quadruple. I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's just totally separate. It's completely different. It's crazy. Uh, and that's just because also like with trading, the way that we're doing it, you just have that leverage. Trading with prop firms, I think is one of the best opportunities in the trading space right now, just because you have that leverage. If you started
Exactly.
out with a couple $1,000 to trade with, you probably want to turn it into a $12,000 payout, right? That'd be like, 5, 6xing your money from just trading with a few $1,000s. So to be able to do that with prop firms, I think it's a really big opportunity right now in this space. Actually, quick, let me ask you this. Like if like, do you think that that was a huge part too of just getting like, I mean, obviously, like, to get this payout, it's from a prop firm, but like, what do you think would have happened if you started trading on your own capital? Like, do you think this also, because I think it helps you become a better trader because you have to follow all the rules.
Yeah,
What
I
do you think
mean,
about
if
that?
I traded my own capital, I think I'll be too emotionally attached with my because it's my money, You're losing thousands of dollars a day.
Mhm.
I don't think I would be able to take it. But now since it's like it's not your capital, so you're borrowing someone capital, so it doesn't matter if I lose 1,000, $2,000. At most I'll be losing is the eval fee. But even if you pass the eval, they refund you that fee. So you literally have no risk.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100%, man. It's just the best way to do it, in my
Yep.
opinion. That's why we're doing this. So, um, sweet, man. Well, I appreciate you for trusting us firsthand, taking the step, joining, and also following through with it, having the discipline to like put in the work, do it right, and then obviously you get the reward, right? So yeah, man, congratulations again on that recent payout. And I just want to ask before we head off of here, I just wanted to see like, did you have any last words or advice you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah. My advice is to, follow whatever Luke's laid out for you and you'll be successful. Yep.
Sweet. Let's do it, man. Well, awesome. It was good having you on here. I appreciate you coming on, helping out more people that are looking to get started with this or are already in their evaluation that got some solid tips and advice from this quick call. Sweet, man. Well, thanks for coming on. If you guys have any questions about, Henry's trading, about his story, about what's going on right now, what his plans are next, anything, leave questions, comments down below. Congratulate him even. And to learn more about Funded Profits Trading, there's always a link down below. You can click on there, learn more about us, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, because we'll be back for more. There's people just like Henry. And Henry, you're in the community chat. People are winning every single day, aren't they? Every
Yeah,
single day there's wins. So
exactly.
we're gonna be posting more. Trying to bring on more students to do these interviews with, bring more value to you guys on YouTube and also all the other students that are watching these. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and Henry, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you, man, and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, please join Luke's program. This guy's the GOAT. Thank
See
you.
you guys. Well, I'll see you guys all on the next one.